Good morning. It is 6:40 a.m. and I just walked away from the tent site a couple minutes ago. And man, if I were to come another couple hundred yards, there's a nice tent site right here. Okay, so about 9:30 last night, I was out cold. 3 hikers came through, talking loud with headlamps, woke me up. And I think that was the only other people that came through all night. It's kind of warm. It's so the high in town where we left was like 95 yesterday. I think the high is like 93 today, and then it starts dropping pretty drastically. I think tomorrow, like, the high was like 82. The next day 73, and then the highs were like in the low 60s for the rest of the extended forecast. There was one day I think the high was in the upper 50s. And that was done at lower elevation. So after a couple days here, we should be getting some cool temps, which is nice for hiking. No plan for today, really, just see how far I can get. I'd like to do at least 25, but there is a lot of up and down today. It's like several thousand feet up, down, 1,000 up, down. And that's all day. So I don't know, we'll just see how far we can get. A lot of it will depend on if it's like smooth treadway or like rocky or whatever. But it looks like the sunrise is brewing over here to the right. It's already fully daylight, but the sun hasn't peeked over the mountain. Still too many trees between me and it to get good footage though. Let's do a 360. That's the trail north. That's trail south. And this is just a straight up rock field, scree field. There we go. Okay, the majority of the trail this morning has been all this loose rock, and it just takes so much longer. You gotta go so much slower to avoid like twisting and rolling ankles and falling and all that. It's kind of annoying, like a nuisance. Like, I just want a good treadway trail so I can make some miles here. The views are great though. Still on all these rocks. It's slow going. We've done right at 4.9 so far this morning, and I've been hiking for actually exactly 2 hours. So I guess that's not too bad considering almost 2.5 miles an hour on this rock. That hurt. I did see a hiker that I don't know his name, but we've seen each other, but we don't really know each other. He was going south. I asked if he was going the wrong way. He said he did something to hurt his knee, so he was going back to town. It's like 15 miles all the way back to town. So I asked if he's gonna be okay. He's gonna have to get back there. He said he thought it just needed a few days rest. So I don't know how far he's come, but man, that is a long way to backtrack, especially if you're hurting. Speaking of hurting, man, when I just stumbled there, a sharp rock went into the side of my foot, and it's hurting a little bit. It'll go away in a few minutes though. We're on this big long descent now. We had climbed like 3,000 feet yesterday, dropped a little bit, climbed a little more than 1,000 this morning. Now we're dropping like 2,500 or 3,000. just to turn around and go back up again, of course. I'm gonna find somewhere to collect the water. Here's another beautiful bridge, and this is beautifully clear water. I had to shimmy down the bank behind me, fill up my bottles. I got about 1.5 liters, and I'm gonna start this next climb, do a couple more miles and stop for lunch probably. It's right at noon now. All right, we got a big climb, a couple thousand feet ahead of me. Look at this. You see a waterfall right in the center of your screen. All the way across from where I'm at, you hear the water roaring. All right, it is 1:25. Man, look at that background behind me. I found a spot, actually it's 2 little tent spots right next to the trail in these switchbacks, and I've been ready for lunch. So I stopped. It's 15.3 miles in so far. I still have 2.7 to get to the top of this big climb. Once I get up there though, then it's just like 7.5 down, and that would be 25 point something where there's a river and a camp spot. So I'm trying to get to at least there. Maybe, depending on what time it is, maybe go further. We'll just see. But right now, you know how it is. I'm ready to eat. It is like 2 minutes after 4. We've done just a little bit over 20 miles so far. And man, today has been, it was all that rock early in the day, and then it's just been all up, down, up, down, up, down. It's kind of wearing on me. Haven't taken many breaks other than a couple times quickly to filter water. Took a short lunch break, maybe, I don't even know how long I was there, 25 minutes maybe. Other than that, it's just been grinding all day. So last night, there was a bigger tent spot with 3 tents, and then I was up just a little bit up the hill from them in the trees. And I knew 2 of the 3, the girls that were camped down there, and I was walking with one for a little bit. Actually, the one left early this morning, and we saw her at a water source. And she said she had seen a bear and a mountain goat this morning, which I still haven't seen either of those this whole hike. The other girl and I were kind of walking close together for a bit, just bumping back and forth. And we were talking. She's like, this is just so psychologically tough. She said she was referring to when we thought right before we got to Washington that we were only going to get to half the miles, and then all of a sudden all the fire closures opened up. So it looks like Washington's going to be the only state that I'm doing continuous footsteps, because they have those 2 small breaks, one in each of the other states. But anyway, she said, when we were getting close to the border, I thought we had 250 miles left to be done. And it felt like someone just took the finish line and moved it back 250 miles. And she's like, it was just soul crushing. And she's like, I'm just so ready to be done. I just want to be done and off this trail. They're planning to be, with whatever skip they're doing, they're planning to be done within this week. Because I think they are skipping from Stevens Pass all the way up to either Stehekin or Mazama, like almost near the Canadian border. So I guess partly it's nice, misery loves company, to hear other people having the same thoughts, but I don't know. In another way, it's very sad that most of us doing this or doing some version of this all just want it to be done. I'm ready for today to be done. I may stop a little bit early because there's a pretty good camp spot, it looks like, on Far Out that I should be at probably a little after 6 p.m. It's a little earlier than I normally stop, but it will be over 25 miles. It's like 25 and a half to there. And with all the elevation today, I think that's probably going to be enough. We'll just see what the campsites look like and how I feel when I get there. But that's just what I'm thinking right now. Ready to get down here. Alright, just checking in here. It is 5:45. I've done 24.4 miles, got 1.1 to where I was hoping to camp. I was looking to see if I thought I could get any further because I'm trying to figure out if I can get to Stevens Pass earlier in the day than I was estimating originally to get the logistics for my ride to work out a little better. But man, my feet are hurting, especially with these shoes are done. I got new ones, and I got 1.5 more days than these, and I get new ones. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm gonna go ahead and stop up here, I think, as long as the campsite's decent and it's not overrun with people, and maybe able to even like soak my feet in the cold river. Maybe that would be nice. Since I didn't eat dinner last night, I'm ready to eat some dinner today. Although it's weird, I have not had nearly as much of an appetite the last couple days. Even today, I haven't really been hungry. I've force-fed myself some, like, just because I know I have to have the fuel. But yeah, I don't have the hunger. Maybe it's my body knowing that I'm almost done and I need to stop eating. Beautifully clear water. Alright, I'm all set up right here. The water is right down here. The bridge is back a little bit, but I will probably just go down right here and rinse off a little bit and get some water. It's beautifully clear. And there are quite a bit of people camped here tonight. There's a group of like 4 women that are section hiking and at least 3 other people. Some of them are fairly close and they're all just walked away up on a hill for a minute. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this out now and tell you good night. See you tomorrow. We're gonna try to do a big day tomorrow to get our ride worked out. I'm just gonna get cleaned up and get fed and get to bed tonight. So have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.